So I'll just show you guys the first acoustic guitar I built. This is it. It's got a spruce top and it's got walnut back, which I really like the figuring on that wood. It's got a walnut back, walnut sides. It's got wooden binding, which the binding is wenge and maple. It's got you can see it's got a laminate neck, and that's maple and walnut on the neck. The other thing about it, it does have wooden binding on the fretboard. I don't know if you can see that, but that's wenge and maple also, same binding that's on the sides. And rosewood fretboard and rosewood headstock veneer. And I built this guitar for my daughter. I also did some custom inlays on the fretboard. She's a musician. She's recorded a little bit, and these kind of represent the songs that she's recorded. All right, so that was my first guitar that I built, and so my goal is to build a second guitar. I'd like to use some different materials. Just know I'm not a professional woodworker. I'm not a professional luthier. I did learn to build from a guy named Randy Spencer out of Garland, Texas. He's a luthier that he's built over 100 guitars, and he teaches classes on guitar building. So I did learn from him. So everything I do here is based on what he taught me. I'm sure I'll make some mistakes along the way, and I'll try to document those also, and maybe how I fix those. Hopefully I won't make too many. The guitar that I'm about to build, I would like to use some different types of wood for it. Also, this guitar, it's not perfect by any means. The average person probably would look at this and not really see the flaws or mistakes on it, but having built it, I know where they're at on here. As a beginner, I don't know that you can get something perfect. Even as a pro, I don't know that you can get something perfect. But overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out. So just to give you guys a little shop tour, this is my workspace, the tools that I use. I've got a bandsaw. It's not a super high capacity bandsaw by any means. Planer, drill press. I've got a sander right there, spindle sander here. Got my table saw, miter saw, and a lot of different various hand tools. I built this little workstation here. I ended up buying a drum sander, which is kind of a luxury woodworking tool, but I really enjoy having it. And then I've got a laser engraver. So one of the first steps in doing this build is rough cutting the back and sides. I've got this piece of zebra wood here. Now you can just go ahead and buy a back and side set, but I've got several good hardwood suppliers near me, so I bought this. And so I've got a bandsaw. It'll accommodate a 5-inch span, which is not big enough to do a 2-piece back. So I'm going to have to do a 4-piece back, and I've got to decide where I want the back to go, or what section of this wood I want. And I'm really looking at this cool looking grain pattern here. So I think I'm going to make this area right here the back. Okay, so I've got my acrylic template here, and I just want to determine where I want the pattern to be on this guitar. So I'm thinking about right there would look really nice. So I'm just going to mark. Okay, so I'm going to cut this into 4 sections. It's going to be a 4-piece back. I hope I can get 4 pieces out of this. We'll see. Each piece needs to be 150 thousandths of an inch, which... So I'm going to cut each slice about 4.5 inches. You want to take this really slow when you do this. Okay, so I'm gonna cut my second piece, and then I've got a third piece to cut also to make that 4-piece back. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is drum sand these 4 pieces here. Okay, so I'm headed back to Wood World to get another piece of zebra wood, sadly. I really thought that the zebra wood I have is 7/8 of an inch thick. I thought I could get 4 slices out of a section, but it just didn't work out. By the time I sliced it into 4 thin sections, I ran it through the drum sander to try to get it all fairly even. It was just turning out to be way too thin, and so I'm headed back to get another piece of zebra wood, and we'll try it again. So here's the 4 panels for the back, and they turned out way too thin, like I mentioned. So I'm gonna resaw some new pieces, and this time I'm gonna do it on the table saw. I feel like I can get a little bit more accurate dimensions that way. Okay, so since I'm only getting 2 slices out of this, I'm going to go ahead and use the table saw to resaw this. Now I'll go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll get our 4 pieces. So here's my 4 pieces after running them through the table saw. And what I'm going to do is take them to my planer and plane them down just a little bit thinner. We want to get them down to 150 thousandths of an inch. And right now they're super thick. And so it'd just be a lot faster running it through the planer a couple of times before I run it over to the drum sander. Okay, so I've already jointed these 2 pieces here. They look really good. It's a 4-piece back, so I'm gonna have to joint this and joint this. So I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna fold it over. All right, so you clamp it to your shooting board, which there's a lot of videos on making these shooting boards. I'm using a number 6 Stanley plane. And you use the plane just to get it really close as you can. So once I use the plane, then I use this little straight edge that I've put double-sided, it's like a sandpaper to, and then you can use it to kind of fine-tune everything. Okay, so I can take my 2 pieces, hold them up to a window, and I can see that there's a gap in the middle. Even if I push pretty hard, there's a gap in the middle. So it looks like it's pretty high here and pretty high here at the top. So I need to go back and continue sanding it until you don't have a gap. Okay, so I got those looking good. I got that joint looking really good. Now I just have to do this joint. I'll just go through the same process. One little tip on getting these boards lined up, you can use your plane as a backstop to help you get them lined up really well. So this is the little jig I'm going to use when gluing this top up. I have a video on how to build this. It's very simple, but the first thing I'm going to do is tape these pieces together with some painter's tape. Okay, so I flipped over my pieces of wood with the tape on it, and then I'm going to trace my shape here. So this is the back side. What I'm going to do is fold this I'm going to take a straight edge and I'm going to make a triangle shape. It doesn't matter, honestly, the angle, okay, as long as it's a triangle. And then I'm going to take this over to the bandsaw and cut this shape out, the angle part. Now just put this back on my shooting board. I'm not trying to get this super close, but I'm just going to smooth out that angle a bit with my planer. Now take the tape off. Okay, so we've got our board set up here, and the way this is going to work is we're going to put glue on all these, okay? Then I'm going to put a weight on this, and we're going to use a block to tap it all forward. Because it's a wedge, it'll squeeze it all together. And so I've got this ledger board clamped in place really tightly. So I'm going to apply the glue. Okay, so I've got a weight on it, and now I'm just going to tap it forward a bit. So I'll let this dry overnight, and then we'll do the top the exact same way.